All right, Nils, I got it. I have a logo for you. It's very minimalist but decorative, apparently. Made by AI. Let me see if I can send this to you. Oh, I can screen share. That's a good point.
Yeah,
I just
screen.
downloaded it and I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna show him this. Normally you have that
I'm gonna
ta-da. It
finish
looks
this.
like Minecraft.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude.
it
That
was
is
made
a
by AI.
classic. That is your classic Seattle cafe juice bar logo.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
hmm
Wow.
Yeah, this screams like modern but like rustic, you know? Um Like even the font, it's not smooth. It's kind of like if you really zoom in a little bit, you see there's like little bits. Like it's like, oh, we're modern, but we don't want you to think we're corporate, you know?
Yeah. No, that's exactly it. But you just did it that in like literally less than. Um.
Yeah, it was online. It's just a template from Adobe.
All right.
Just
Well,
lets you incorporate things. I
I
think
like
that's
that though.
interesting. Yeah,
Well,
it's cool.
welcome everyone to Stickscast Movie Cast number 26.
Keeping track,
Um,
I like it. All right.
now that I'm using this study room that will really only be can be able to use for like maybe 2 more weeks, 3 more weeks before midterms come up and people actually need to use these rooms. Figure
Well,
this will
hey,
be
this takes precedent, all right? This takes precedent.
yeah, it's like if I'm using enough, I should just be allowed to go in here. It would
hmm
be really funny because like you're supposed to schedule these rooms. So it
Oh
would
yeah.
be really funny if someone just walked in and I just have this half-ass setup going on right now, and they just see Sticks Cast number 26, Brokeback Mountain. Um, but hey, maybe then they could be like a weekly guest, or the people that are
hmm
like, I'm supposed to be scheduled here to study, and we can then invite them to talk about the movie.
Right.
So um,
No, that's a great idea.
I love that idea. Well, Isaac, how was your week?
It's been pretty good. I haven't really done anything. I went bowling today, which I told you about, which was pretty cool. But other than that, I really haven't done anything. So I've just been chilling, watched some
Yeah.
movies. I Letterboxd Year in Review came out, so just been doing that.
You
And
know, really quick, I felt a
of course.
little attacked or offended when you sent that year in review because I was like, damn it, I thought only the Letterbox Pro people get to see their like fun stats
Oh
or
yeah.
whatever. But it's fine. Like they only showed those two stats, which is still cool that Letterbox did. Like it should be kind
Yeah.
of free. But
It no, it should it's very classist, which for, a platform that's basically made for like liberal arts majors. It's kind of weird to have a classist app like that, but I
mhm.
think they showed me my most watched director, which I didn't want to see after I saw it, and then they showed me my most watched actor, which I didn't want to see at the end of it. And
Yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah.
to
Next
clarify,
year it'll be better.
your most viewed actor was Jake Gyllenhaal.
It was
Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal, and I would like to
Yep.
preface I do like. I'm not saying I don't like Jake Gyllenhaal. I love Jake Gyllenhaal, but it's mainly because I set out on my Odyssey to watch all of the Jake Gyllenhaal movies. This is a part of that, obviously, and
Mm.
I made it like halfway through. I think I'm at like no, I'm probably like a third. I'm around 18 right now, and there's over 50, so I'm probably around a third of the way there,
Gotcha. Yeah.
hopefully.
And then your most viewed director, I like don't remember to be honest.
He was the guy. Yeah, I wasn't happy with that. It's just because I watched two of his movies. I watched Top Gun, and then I watched The Gray Man. I think.
Oh wow.
I
So
think
your
that.
most viewed director is only two of his films.
Yeah, which is weird because I watched a lot of Studio Ghibli films, and I don't understand. I don't know how they did that. Maybe that was just for like films. I don't know.
Hold on. I
Um,
mean,
but
I'll,
go
yeah.
with what you got, right?
Yeah, maybe. Well, I mean, like, because not all of Ghibli is like Miyazaki, so somehow maybe you only logged in like two Miyazaki movies, and then the rest
Maybe.
were Isao, or something.
But still, only having like two as my leader was kind of weird. But there's nothing I can really do about it. Next year will be better, hopefully. But yeah.
Yeah, no,
How
that's
about you?
perfect. I
What did you think about yours? Sorry.
oh no, I was like, oh my week or that no
Oh, sure, that too. Yeah. absolutely.
Oh, I mean, classes started. It was fun.
Mhm.
It's my first time having 3 2-hour classes in a row for college, and that was
Right.
pretty brutal.
Hmm.
And it ends with a economics course from like
Hey.
3:50 till 5:50, which is that prime nap time.
Mm,
So,
okay. Well,
um,
at least it's a fun topic, right?
well, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So, and there's
Well,
like
what econ is it?
it's the second macro I take.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. It's gonna be a bitch.
Yeah. So I'm not particularly hyped. I have the two courses before those. I have the same professor for both classes. So well, it's gonna be an interesting quarter. And then in terms of I think my most viewed director, I was totally happy with, which was Satoshi Kon. But my
Mhm.
most viewed actor was Anthony Daniels, who is like, I think he's either Chewbacca or C3PO in all the Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
And since I've been watching those with Aaliyah, she's mainly watching those for the first time. So that's the most viewed actor. I'm like, okay. I don't know. I had no, but no, yeah. So that's pretty much it.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Speaking of not very good news. Isaac, have you checked Burundi news recently? Because I just
I
did a
haven't.
quick
Uh-oh.
search
What's going
and
on, Nose?
it's not good. Burundi declares cholera outbreak. Is that right? How you say it?
Yep.
Yep. Cholera outbreak in capital
Mm.
Bujumbura. Um, so not good. After dozens of cases have been spotted last week, uh, presenting symptoms of diarrhea and vomiting. Confirmed as cholera. 5 people are still in the hospital and being treated from cholera. 7 others, however, have left the hospital. Uh, the outbreak follows heavy downpours in Bujumbura, resulting in overflows of toilets. The government also blames poor hygiene. Some emergency arrangements have already been made by the Ministry of Public Health, including disinfection of affected households, public awareness of the risk of spread of the epidemic, and the behaviors to adopt.
Hmm.
That's what Niziyamana, um, who's Sylvie Nizimiana Mana, who's the Minister of Public Health. That's what he said. And also just some other context. The country in 2019 also witnessed a cholera. Oh my gosh, witnessed a cholera outbreak. At least 1,000 cholera cases, including 6 deaths, were registered. Um, so yeah, pretty big news.
Hmm.
I don't know, especially odd. Like we were last week kind of celebrating. I feel like there's kind of an upward trend. Oh, and that was reported from the North Africa Post. Um,
Okay.
but no, yeah, I feel like we've been getting this like nice upward trend of Burundi news that at least aggregate on the Google
Hmm.
and and um I don't know. Yeah, this is very interesting, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Right. So, for those of you who don't know what cholera is, it's an acute diarrheal illness caused by infection in the intestine with Vibrio cholerae bacteria. And I'm reading this all off of Google, so if I'm wrong, blame them. It's big media. It's not me. Uh, Basically, what you can see, it's flipped, but it's drinking contaminated water with, the bacteria is the cause of it. Like Noah says, they're gonna do a lot of treatment stuff. It's called the Blue Death. That's frightening, but bummer. Like you said, Noah, this is on the heel of a few good weeks, actually a few good months. It's been a good time. And here's to
We should
see,
say, right, it's been a good time. It's according to Google's first page of
Yeah.
Isaac and I doing a half-ass Google
Yeah.
search. That's what we mean by it's been a
All right.
good time for Burundi.
To
We
be
don't
fair,
know.
to be
Yeah.
fair, there have been no coups and no attempted coups that we know of. So, like, by their standard, pretty good, you know?
Oh yeah. No. Have we ever Googled Burundi's happiness index?
Yeah, I did. It's pretty low, Nils.
Oh,
It's pretty low.
let's see. Oh,
Yeah, it's pretty low. I think that was in the
um,
first presentation I did on Burundi.
yeah.
So
So, because I'm seeing from a score from 0 being unhappy to 10 being happy, the average value between 2013 and 2020 was 3.27. Um,
yep.
so I wonder what did it say for 2020? It's 3.78, so it's above the average. I don't know what was 2021 or
It's above the average of our sample size. Yeah.
so yeah, that's crazy though. But I'm gonna make a uneducated guess, but I think that the head of the health, what he said about like it's probably with flooding. I mean, also that's probably a big thing with climate change too. Just heavy
Oh yeah.
rain pour, and their sewage system just couldn't keep up with it, so their drinking water got contaminated. So that
Hmm.
sucks.
Yeah, not a great time.
No, not at all. So yeah, but it's also not a good time. Um, Watching Brokeback Mountain. Wow, what a sad
Wow.
movie.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were saying it was a bad movie, and I was
No,
like,
no,
holy
no,
shit.
no, no. That's how I was debating saying that or not. But I will. Do you mind if I read the synopsis or unless?
No, go for it, please.
Oh yeah. So really, I was supposed to say like published, but it's like I don't think you say that for films. Released, whatever. In 2005, directed by Ang Lee, Love is a Force of Nature. Two modern day cowboys meet on a shepherding job in the summer of 63. The two share a raw and powerful summer together that turns into a lifelong relationship, conflicting with the lives they are supposed to live. Um, Kind of but yeah, and I mean, Ang Lee, have you watched any of other Ang Lee's movies, Isaac?
Not off the top of my head. I mean, maybe I'm just not familiar with the director themselves.
He is one of the most like random directors. I feel like
Hmm.
where so he's made this, but right before or 2 years before this, he made the Hulk movie that like came out in the early 2000s. It's that really shitty Hulk movie. And then he also made Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and then he also made Life of Pi, and then and then he also made a Gemini Man, that Will Smith movie where it's like two Will Smiths. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm just in shock.
Yeah. So Ang Lee is a very interesting director. I can't really place a like creative. I feel like when previously in our other Stickscast, we can kind of talk about like the directors, maybe like artistic intent or with like what they're
Right.
trying to say. I don't like Ang Lee just does whatever. But we're talking about Brokeback Mountain though. Isaac,
Right.
have you seen this movie before?
I have not. No, this is my first time seeing it.
Oh, what was that experience like?
It's a lot better than I thought it was. Just
You,
that's it. I'll save the rest for my explanation.
but what for your explanation?
Oh, I can just talk about the movie now. I'll bet. All right. I all right. No, I thought it was really good. It's kind of weird to watch. 17 years after. Because I it's just weird to me that I never saw it. Because it's not like it's a like underground movie. It had Heath Ledger, had Jake Gyllenhaal, basically at their primes. Um, and they were being gay cowboys together, bisexual cowboys together. And so it's what I really liked. I really liked it. That being said, I'm also trying to reform my ranking system. So I think I gave it. Let me check what I gave it. I gave it a 4 stars. I gave it 4 stars. I really liked it. It's a really powerful story about like I mean, they met in like what 1963 in the story. And plot wise, it's like, okay, so they clearly like want to be together, but obviously, Ennis is like just the way he grew up and the trauma he received, it really just made that not really possible for him. While Jack, on the other hand, it's something that, was very vocal about. And I think that just like, I don't know, it's just such a weird movie to me to come out in like 2005, especially because it was shot like really well. It was shot like a lot of Westerns were shot. Like, really big emphasis on nature, really big winding still shots, with like, they could be like herding their sheep like in the bottom right corner, but like there's a huge mountain vista. And I think that when coupled with like a story about, okay, so we're gonna show the passage of time over the course of about 20 years, um, I thought that was really powerful. And I think that, God, it was just really sad, because you'd be looking
Mm,
at this mountain, this like beautiful mountain. It's like, okay, so these two guys clearly love each other, right?
yeah.
And it's just like their own, specifically Ennis's, but their own life experiences just aren't letting them truly be happy, right?
Yeah.
Um, and at the end of it, like the moment that Ennis is finally ready to just do something, right? It's just too late. And
Hmm.
it's not that he never had the nerve to, it's just that he was never really allowed to. Because again, when he was like what, 9 years old, his dad showed him like the a local gay man who like was basically beaten so hard his dick fell off, like literally, right? And
Did
I
they
think
say that in
that,
the movie? Did I miss that?
oh yeah, they
Okay.
said
All
that.
right. All right.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
know if that was like just a horribly like insensitive comment or if that was actually in the movie or not. So
No,
that's
that
why
was
I
that
was
was in
okay.
that's in the movie, and then that's why,
Yeah.
when he heard that Jack died, that's why,
Yeah. Yeah.
instead of being like, oh, his tire blew up, he immediately had like a vision, like a post-traumatic vision of like
Yeah.
just him getting beat to death, like violently, right? Well, I mean,
Hmm.
there's no peaceful way to get beat to death, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But and I think that like, God, it's just so sad, but it's just so well told, and I think that my favorite part about it wasn't like, and this is really rare for me, it wasn't like the cinematography, it wasn't the sound, it wasn't the score, which both were phenomenal. It was just like the way they showed the passage of time, mainly through like Jack's like facial hair, right? He had a mustache, he had a beard,
Hmm.
he was clean shaven, whatever. I think the way they showed the passage of time was just really done beautifully, because obviously, you get to those points where it's like, okay, so, and I know I'm rambling, close it up. You get to the point where it's like you'll be talking to like, I'll be talking to my parents, right? And they'll be like, wow, the last 20 years, because I'm 21, right? The last 20 years really have just gone by in the blink of an eye. And I think that that's something that this movie really exhibits well. Because
Hmm.
it's, I mean, it's a movie, so obviously it's, you're not going to experience 20 years, but it feels like you've experienced 20 years because you're there for like all the monumental parts of their lives and their relationships with each other, their wives, their children. It's just really, it's a really well thought out movie, and I really liked it.
Beautiful. I loved you. Really liked it, and yeah, I think you covered like a lot of what makes this movie great. So I'm gonna change it up now this time. I
Ooh,
kind
go
of
for it.
took some notes about so like what all the things you liked, and I just gonna just expand on each one or whatever that we talked. So like, I mean, yeah, let's just start like with you kind of mainly covered it, but like with like the makeup is really good in this movie in terms of like even Jack's hairstyle alone, right? Where it's where like I don't know, he starts with just like that normal like kind of shortcut, but then by the end of the movie where he has that phenomenal monologue ish with Ennis, just about that their relationship and he feels like he's giving so much and he wants to do what he believes in, and but like you see like the sideburns or whatever. um I don't know. And then yeah, with Ennis's character, yeah, where like he also had like the grays, sideburns, and maybe you agree with me. It's also with like Heath Ledger's acting. I think he over time, like through the film, he becomes more and more like hermited. Would you agree in a way?
Yeah, I would. I think he, to an extent, I would say he becomes hermited, but I would say at the very end of the film, he definitely like expands past that, after
Yes,
Jack dies.
obviously.
Um, just again, really sad to see. But yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, because yeah, no, yeah, because yeah, obviously the ending, he's finally opening up, but it's like holy shit, like Heath Ledger, his acting is so freaking good of being
Hmm.
just this like man who's both like repressed by sexuality as well as just by like the system economically. And that I want to also get to that because you kind of mentioned it too with like I think even though Jack and Ennis both love each other, they like personality wise and their upbringing, I think kind of have very two intended differences. And I think there's kind of a critique of somewhat of like I don't know if it's like classism or just like the economy, where like you have Jack who had kind of a better upbringing in terms of financially, and then when he's living in Texas, like he's working for the system of this big farm head honcho guy, and so he has more economic freedom to like make these like big road trips, but Ennis is stuck working like ranching where he's just kind of a slave to the system, you know.
Hmm.
um but I don't know, and like I don't know. I think that you just kind of see that, and it's just like it's really brilliant. That was my main thing I noticed with the second watch, was just how like their economic background kind of pushed their personalities a bit, and kind of could cause that clash. Um, ooh, I forgot what I was gonna say after that. Oh, and then like and then the other thing you're talking about the scenery, right? Because like the scenery is beautiful, and at least from what I noticed was how like, and I mean it's pretty obvious too. Like I mean everyone will agree, like the scenery, when they're out in Brokeback, it's fucking shot beautifully, like they're in their natural, environment. And
Hmm.
then whenever they go back to civilization, it just looks so depressing, and it's like they're
Yeah.
back in their artificial societal expectations. Um, you notice that too, or
Yeah, I think just to expand a little bit on what you're talking about, what I noticed is just like cinematography wise. Again, it would go from like these really long winding shots of nature, of a bunch of sheep, wildlife, trees, everything great, like sunsets, whatever, to like really cramped spaces, like Ennis's apartment above the laundromat, um, or Jack's house. Like we saw Ennis at the mail station, the post office a few times. But other than that, I like it. Yeah, it's just like it kind of it felt like what was trying to be conveyed, and maybe I'm reading too much into it, was that just like society was really restricting them.
mm-hmm.
Um, at least that's the way I saw it.
No, yeah, and because like, and then going back to the economic thing too, like that being in Brokeback, where this gorgeous, it's almost like Garden of Eden, like just almost perfect.
Hmm.
That is able to have both of them at peace together, because anytime they're outside of that environment, they can't truly ever be happy.
Right.
Um, so, and yeah, I think it strips down the expectations of of them being model fathers, strong men, as well as like, oh, gotta work, be like a salesman or whatever, and then he's the rancher.
Hmm.
But I don't know, and like, did you? Because I think there's something going on here too, also with the two wives in the film, of Ennis's wife and then divorced wife, and as well as I just know it's Anne Hathaway. I don't remember
Yeah,
the or
it's Anne Hathaway. You don't need
Darlene,
a. It
Lorene,
doesn't matter. It's Anne
exactly.
Hathaway.
Um, did you have any observations on like maybe their create like the differences between those two, or maybe like how, um, if anything like that?
Um, it's for Anne Hathaway's character, I felt like, obviously as time and time went on, it escalated, but just generally speaking, sorry, it didn't seem like she was really interested in Jack's relationship. She was busy. She was running a business. She was managing all this shit, and he would like twice a month be going out to go fishing, and she probably figured it out. But so I feel like she was kind of disengaged in it all, and obviously, when she was talking to Ennis, she obviously wasn't like saying like in a really like sympathetic, oh, your best friend's dead,
Hmm.
she kind of felt like cold and detached, which I
Yeah.
mean maybe that's just what happens when your significant other dies. I don't know, but like so I got that vibe generally speaking, and then for Ennis's wife, you're great because I can't remember anyone besides the protagonists' names. Um, I think that obviously she was dealt a bad hand. Just
Yeah.
walked out on the balcony. Her husband's making out with this guy for breakfast.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's a bit rough.
yeah, that was a little tough. But and obviously, she knew. Like it was very explicitly stated
Mm.
that she knew because um uh it's just and also to be honest, I find it weird that at Thanksgiving when she was like, I put this note in your fishing box, and you never brought it back. Why wasn't she just like, yeah, I walked down the balcony. You guys are basically like raw dogging in the parking lot. But it's whatever. I guess everyone has their own ways of being subtle. But
Yeah.
I just feel bad for her. Her whole like life was kind of uprooted by it, and there's nothing she could really do about it because she
Mm.
wasn't in like a mental state where she could talk about it with him, because obviously that's like a big thing,
Yeah.
um especially for him, because I'm guessing that he probably told her a few times about like, oh yeah, when I was a kid my dad brought me down to see a guy who got his dick beat off. um just a bummer. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
all I really have to say. It's a bummer. And then there's that second girl who seemed nice, and then Ennis just got detached again. He's like the strong silent
Hmm.
type, but it's like what I really do like about this movie is like, yeah, it's modern cowboys, and he is the strong silent type that a lot of people would be like, oh, I want to be like the strong silent type. But
Yeah.
like the fact of the matter is, I really like how the movie very clearly explained like this is not like a happy way to live your life,
Yeah.
and it's not going to be satisfactory, and it's not going to end.
Yeah.
Which I think is missing from a lot of like, I think it's just missing from a lot of like media in today's society. But so I really like that.
Yeah. I mean, because that's literally like Tony Soprano. He's like, whatever happened to the strong and silent type, you
Yeah.
know? But it's clear like Ennis, it's just not a very happy lifestyle. Like he was also given an awful hand, but and I mean
Yeah.
that's what
Oh
that's
yeah.
what pushed him into also being that type of personality. But
Hmm. It's
it
not his
caught
fault. It is not his
no.
fault at all.
But yeah, I mean, and it just results in him pushing people out from loving because like it seems like in this movie, Jack is always wanting to give attention, right? Even in this loveless marriage he has with Anne Hathaway, he
Yeah.
so clearly cares about her. With
Hmm.
like where we have the amazing Thanksgiving scene where the
Yeah.
annoying fucking kid wants to watch a Packers game. Really? So, oh my gosh, I can't imagine how you felt seeing your favorite actor yell and say, "Turn the fucking Packers game off." That must be the most surreal Isaac moment. Did you ever?
It felt like he was talking to me.
Yeah.
It was great. Yeah, it was
Because
amazing.
God, I would turn that fucking game off too. But no, it's just interesting because like Jack is always wanting to give and give and give, that it's stretching himself thin, where then he's
Mhm.
going to Mexico, then to like and for prostitution. Eventually he says too much to give when that's probably just not as super healthy lifestyle either.
Right.
While I mean Ennis is on the complete opposite, where it's like he is so it, what's the word? Yeah, like just stoic, where there are people like his wife who even, when she sees him cheating on her or whatever, she still like tries to kind of work it out, like
Hmm. Yeah.
for a while. And then there's the bartender who's really trying to help. And then like they talked that one last time, and it's clear like So it's a really cool. Well, it's not cool, but very interesting juxtaposition of our main two characters.
I would
Where
say
once
it's cool.
again, yeah,
Like
yeah,
not in obviously that sense, but in the sense that it's cool how they really displayed it, I guess.
exactly. And then having it just be where Brokeback is able to break. Once again, it's able to kind of put all these character flaws and all the things going around them, it's able to push them away and they're able to experience love. Where otherwise in the world, this cold, homophobic world they live in, they're not able to ever get love from two different ways.
Yeah.
So, and I liked what you said where Alma, right? That's the wife of Ennis.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Like,
I didn't know if
because like she clearly wants to try and but like she obviously knows while Anne Hathaway she really wanted to try and then they result in a divorce, right? Like it's clear that marriage, at least from her perspective, started at a place of love, while Anne Hathaway, I think it's clear, like their first interaction is like them doing it or whatever. It's not really like which is fine, whatever. But like,
I'm pretty sex positive. If you want to do that,
do it. But like, it's written in a way where it's like, oh, it's not anything super deep, and then you see later the rest of their scenes together are business-ish related. So then that's why the marriage then actually just stays together. So maybe that's also kind of a critique of marriage too, just cis regular marriage. There's a lot going on. I mean, you have I mean, homosexuality. I mean, just masculinity. I mean, that's in itself a fucking monster. But then with just like marriage and nature. Yeah, and another thing you're saying was like the score. It is hilarious how the score is just like a guy with an acoustic guitar like strumming, and then like 10 minutes later, and then strum. It works.
It works.
Yeah,
it
works. So, oh man, yeah. Fuck. I'm trying to see if I have any other like random stuff on here. Oh, Isaac. Who is hotter, Jake Gyllenhaal, or Heath Ledger? And I know Heath Ledger's dead, so I know it's like I kind of want to do like pity points maybe, but you choose. Be objective.
From this movie, I'll just make it easy and say from this movie. Objectively speaking, like it's got to be Heath, man. It's got to be Heath. It's just got to be.
Oh, it's got to be Heath. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be Heath.
Yeah.
It's got to be Heath. It's just like, it's like Jake, he really went deep in with it. He gave us a lot of hairstyles, a lot of facial hair. He gave us a lot of everything. Heath was very straightforward the entire time. And it's just like, I actually put this in my review. It's really sad to me. But Heath. But it's really sad to me how like it's obviously sad because he died. Like, to be clear, yeah, obviously, who isn't sad about that still? But like it's really unfortunate to me in a meta social commentary aspect that Heath Ledger died when he did. Because if he was still alive and he was still acting, he would have probably had like one or two Sigma roles, and he would be idolized by this like Sigma male community. And then once all of them like saw Brokeback Mountain, it would just shatter every plane of existence for them, and they would all turn into bisexual cowboys. And that's unfortunate. It's also so that's my main thought.
Yeah.
But Heath.
I know it's like a stereotype to say this about like male actors that are a little different, but I genuinely think like Heath Ledger, I think he's kind of the closest to like a Marlon Brando-esque type actor in terms of just it's just like he's so gentle with a lot of his performances where even like the Joker, like it's over the top, it's crazy, but I don't know, there's
the Joker. You can't do anything else with that. You can't be like shy as the Joker.
No, but like, what's the word? Like he
was really volatile.
Yeah, but like he kind of brought a sense of vulnerability to the character. I feel
Oh
like
yeah.
maybe.
No, absolutely.
Um,
He definitely brought the perspective of like this is a deeply flawed individual who
yeah.
like it all just stacks up really.
So, and then I don't know, maybe because like he's in 10 Things I Hate About You, which is the Tacoma movie. Yeah, I
Sorry, man.
love him. So, well, Isaac, I'm probably not going to renew the Zoom session if that's okay with you, because I
Okay.
think we kind of
Yeah.
covered most of this
One
movie.
question because we have plenty of time. One question just for you
Well, and also,
to go off of.
quick, what's your score? What would you, are you 4 stars,
I
right?
gave it a 4 out of 5. And like with my old rating system, I would probably give it a 4.5 or 5. But again, trying to tighten it up this year, I gave out way too many 5 stars last year because 5 stars is perfection.
Yeah,
Uh, got to tighten it up. So 4.
it's 4 for me too. All right, now
There
go
you
to your
go.
question.
Hey, we're on a hot
I
streak. All
know,
right.
we're doing
But
good.
all right, all right, Nils.
Yes,
Be honest.
yes.
Would you rather have the Seattle Supersonics back? Like they just bring the Thunder up. That's it. It's like they never left, right? Would you rather have the Seattle Supersonics back, or Heath Ledger just didn't die?
Okay, that's such a fucked up question because, like, obviously, I should say, to revive a man that died in his like late 20s or early 30s. But I mean, also having the NBA team would be really cool. I'm gonna have to sadly say, well, not sadly, God, I will say Heath Ledger, but that is a
Okay,
fucked
good.
up
Okay,
question.
good.
It's
Yeah, I
yeah.
know.
Oh, that's a good question though.
Yeah, I know. It's a good one. Yeah.